Welcome to the 5-Minute PM episode 18, where we break down everything project management into 5-minute segments. In today's episode, we're tackling one of the biggest challenges in project management: budgeting for project success and avoiding cost overruns. No matter how well planned a project is, one of the most common problems project managers face is staying within budget. Cost overruns can derail even the most promising projects, but with proper planning and techniques, you can minimize this risk. Let's explore some key strategies to help you budget effectively and avoid the financial pitfalls that can impact project success. 1. Start with a realistic baseline budget. A common mistake is starting with an overly optimistic budget, often due to pressure to meet tight deadlines or keep costs low. However, creating a realistic baseline budget is essential for preventing cost overruns. This requires a thorough analysis of all project phases, from initial planning to delivery, including labor, materials, and any unforeseen expenses. Consider historical data from previous similar projects to build a more accurate picture of potential costs. Use this data to factor in any risks and external variables that could increase costs, such as price inflation or supply chain disruptions. A study by the Project Management Institute, or PMI, found that accurate cost estimation at the beginning of the project is directly linked to staying within budget. So, take the time to thoroughly research and validate your initial numbers. 2. Implement regular cost tracking. You've established a solid baseline, but tracking costs regularly is just as critical. Implement a system for continuous budget monitoring. This doesn't mean waiting until the end of the project to review your finances. Instead, conduct periodic reviews at each project milestone or on a weekly basis. This allows you to quickly identify where overspending is happening, whether it's from procurement, labor, or unexpected expenses. With regular tracking, you can take corrective action early, like reallocating resources or adjusting scope, before costs spiral out of control. Many project management tools like Microsoft Project or Trello have built-in cost tracking features that allow you to compare actual spending against your budget in real time. Use contingency budgets. No matter how meticulously you plan, there will always be unexpected changes or challenges during the project. That's where a contingency budget comes in. A contingency budget is an additional fund set aside to cover unforeseen costs, typically around 5 to 10% of the total project budget. For example, if a critical supplier suddenly increases prices, your contingency budget can absorb that cost without affecting the overall budget. Including a buffer in your financial plan helps you stay on track, even when surprises happen. According to a Harvard Business Review article on project budgeting, projects without a contingency plan are more than twice as likely to experience significant cost overruns. Contingency planning is a proactive step that safeguards your project's financial health. Manage scope creep. Scope creep is one of the biggest contributors to cost overruns. This happens when additional features, requirements, or changes are introduced without adjusting the project budget or timeline. While small changes may seem insignificant at first, they add up quickly and can push your project over budget. To manage scope creep, implement a formal change control process. Any changes to the project's scope should be thoroughly evaluated for impact on the budget and approved through a formal process. This ensures that stakeholders are aware of the financial implications of their requests and gives you the authority to say no when necessary. The Project Management Institute suggests that projects with a strong change control process are 25% more likely to stay within budget compared to those without. Involve key stakeholders in budgeting. Successful budgeting isn't a solo effort. It requires input from key stakeholders, including department heads, finance teams, and any vendors involved in the project. By involving them early on, you'll have a better understanding of their needs and potential cost drivers. For example, a department may request a higher allocation for software licenses or training, which may not have been considered in the original budget. Early involvement helps you avoid unexpected expenses later and ensures everyone is on the same page financially. Additionally, clear communication about budget status and expectations can help manage stakeholder demands and reduce the risk of adding unplanned features that blow the budget. Learn from past projects. Finally, don't underestimate the value of learning from past projects. After each project, conduct a postmortem to analyze what worked and what didn't from a budgeting perspective. Were there particular areas where costs were consistently underestimated? Did you experience scope creep, or were there unexpected expenses you didn't plan for? Use this information to improve future budget planning. Over time, your ability to create more accurate budgets will improve as you refine your processes and account for variables that may have been overlooked. By implementing these key strategies, setting a realistic baseline budget, tracking costs regularly, using a contingency budget, managing scope creep, involving stakeholders, and learning from past projects, you'll have a solid foundation for budgeting success. Remember, a well-managed budget not only keeps your project on track but also strengthens trust with stakeholders and increases your chances of project success. Thank you for listening to the 5-Minute PM. Remember to get more project management tips and tricks. Don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe to this channel.